First, though, let's get right to our top story, and that is General David Petraeus going to Congress today. The top U.S. commander in Iraq visits House and Senate committees today and tomorrow to tell them how the military surge in Iraq is working. CBS News Capitol Hill correspondent Chip Reid is live with a preview. Good morning, Chip.
Well, good morning, Harry. President Bush has urged lawmakers to listen to General Petraeus with an open mind. But many influential Democrats say they already know what he's going to say, and they've already rejected it.
The president's policy, as well as the surge, are not working. The policy was to build up the Iraqi army so we could stand down. It's an abject failure.
With so many members of Congress having already made up their minds on Iraq, General David Petraeus faces a steep uphill climb today in his effort to convince Congress to give him and the president's troop surge more time. Some Democrats are even beginning to question the widely respected general's credibility.
He's made a number of statements over the years that have not proven to be factual.
Petraeus is expected to testify that the surge is showing positive results, that violence has been reduced, and he's expected to oppose Democratic calls for any kind of timeline for troop withdrawals. He'll get enthusiastic support from some Republicans who say the general and his strategy are at long last beginning to turn things around. But the general faces a stiff challenge not only from Congress, but from a skeptical American public. A new CBS News poll shows some improvement in how Americans view the Iraq war, but more than half say the troop surge has had no impact or has made things worse. And 35% say troop levels should be reduced. 30% say all U.S. troops should be removed from Iraq.
Iraqis share that skepticism, according to a new ABC News poll conducted face-to-face in more than 2,200 households around Iraq. 47% of Iraqis, a plurality, now favor an immediate pullout of U.S. troops. Barely a quarter say their security has improved. 65 to 70% of Iraqis say the surge has actually made things worse. In Baghdad and even in Anbar, a stunning review. Responses about the surge were 100% negative. Iraqis are losing confidence in the national government, too, and most say living conditions are now worse than before the war. Prospects for the future? Grim at best. Fewer than 1 out of 3 Iraqis expect their lives to get better next year, and just 1/3 think their children will have a better life than they do.
And it's expected to be like going through a gauntlet today for General Petraeus before House committees, and then he gets to do it all over again tomorrow before Senate committees. Harry?
Chip Reid on Capitol Hill this morning. Thanks. Let's get the view from Iraq now. CBS News chief foreign correspondent Lara Logan is live in Baghdad. Lara, let me ask you this. I saw on the BBC this morning there's a new poll out among Iraqis. The majority there in Iraq say the surge has failed. Why would they say that?
Well, you only have to look at the number of Iraqis that are still trying to leave the country every single day, Harry, to understand that they don't feel safer. That in spite of the fact that there has been a decline in violence in certain areas of Baghdad particularly, to them, it doesn't really mean anything. If you're Sunni and you're trapped in your area by barricades and policed by U.S. soldiers, but you can't travel outside your area because you're surrounded by Shiite militias who are going to kill you, if you don't trust your own police force because you think they're going to kill you, you just don't feel safe. They don't believe that any of the gains made in security are enduring, that any of the fundamental dynamics have changed. And they're still afraid, and that's why they're leaving.
General Petraeus is going to speak to Congress today. He's going to say the surge is working. If you were to go out and spend time with the U.S. forces as you have done so much over the last 4.5 years, what would the folks on the ground say?
Well, I mean, I have to be honest, Harry, full credit to the soldiers in so many parts of Baghdad because they really have made a difference wherever they can, trying to reach out to Iraqis, trying to make them safer, putting their own lives on the line to help Iraqi people. And they know that in certain areas they've been able to help, but they're the ones who will tell you, you know, I have this great Iraqi commander who wants to make things better, and he's getting sectarian orders from up high. He's under threat every day. They're trying to kill him. So they know the problems that they're up against, and they don't feel they're getting the support from up above politically in order to enforce the gains that they're making on the ground.
And very quickly, that's the last question. Has the al-Maliki government shown any signs of actually being able to govern this country?
Well, there certainly isn't any sign in terms of legislation that's been passed that brings us closer to reconciliation or a new oil law. But in a way, Harry, it's almost farcical to blame everything on the al-Maliki government. These problems existed before in the Jafari government and before that in the Alawi government. It's not just a problem of al-Maliki, it's a problem of this country. Senior Shiite leaders in all those governments have said they have no desire to share power with the Sunnis. I've just returned from Syria speaking to senior Sunni leaders of the former Ba'athists. They don't want to share power particularly. There is no real sign from the leadership that they want to reconcile, and that anyone has the same vision for Iraq that many ordinary Iraqis have, a secular, united country where they can live in peace. That's what the U.S. says they want, but we don't see that from the Iraqi leadership. We don't see the kind of agreements that would enforce that, and people are losing faith.
Lara Logan, live in Baghdad this morning. Thank you very, very much.